To get rid of this sense of dependency, it will require strong government policies to leverage the good climate and fertile soils to invest in agriculture. After the training, the Gabonese army officers toured several agricultural institutions in Uganda to appreciate their critical role in achieving food security through enhancing food production, improving farming techniques, and ensuring sustainable agricultural development. The meeting was attended by officials from Operation Wealth Creation and scientists from the National Agricultural Research Organization, NARO. Now, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robinah Nabbanja, has advised Ugandans to avoid voting leaders basing on anger. Nabbanja said in the 2021 elections, the people of Budu in Greater Masaka sub-region voted angrily, which led to electing representatives who cannot comfortably collaborate with central government for timely service delivery. Take a watch.
Was delivering a lecture of opportunity at a workshop of leaders from the districts of Greater Masaka, organized by the UPDF at Sacred Heart Chamusansara School in Karungu district as part of the ongoing Tahere Sita celebrations.
Omutima gwange kumwagala njagala ngende yeserinya naye connection yebula.
The 44th Tahere Sita anniversary celebrations is being celebrated in Greater Masaka under the theme celebrating Pan-African solidarity and the people's sacrifice in the struggle for freedom and democracy for socio-economic transformation.
Abantu bagamba Uganda teri democratic, amazima teri. When you also you are a product of democracy. Mwenate mwaita mukalulu. Namwe mwakabba. Bagamba batati president ya bakalo. Ate ne mubeerawo nga mukuba mu ngalo. Oli tasobola kubagamba nti Uganda teri democratic. Nga buli myaka egi. Kakati batandise okuwoominga.
Nabbanja advised the people to stop lamenting and vote for President Yoweri Museveni and the NRM government in the next elections.
Mutambule kyalo ku kyalo, nyumba ku nyumba, bapa ku bapa. Tuli fenna? Musobole okulaba nga mwenunula.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, you have not let down the appointing authority, the one who gave you this job. You have not let him down. We are proud of you. The work you are doing is opening a road for many of these young ladies who are here. Your better performance gives opportunity for the appointing authority to know that women can do well, and we will continue to appoint more women.
Great humility is one of the leaders holding our pillars, the pillars of love, the pillars of hope, the pillars of faith, and that great pillar of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
I have always desired to meet you face to face, but no chance. God has answered my desire today. I take this opportunity to thank you for your extraordinary leadership. When I watch you on TV, you give me energy and you portray the fact that, yes, women can lead.
The event is featuring activities across districts of Komansimbi, Kalangala, Kyotera, and Masaka City, culminating in Kyotera district on the 6th February 2025.
But the challenge they have is one, that they have not embraced the message of His Excellency the President to work on the small pieces of land and generate more income.
This annual event, organized by the government and the UPDF, aims to honor the spirit of community partnership and Pan-African solidarity.
Jingo Francis reporting there. Now, the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, has called on the prisons authorities and Ministry of Justice to immediately comply with the Supreme Court ruling by releasing all political prisoners or else try them in competent courts. The party emphasized that adherence to the rule of law, respect for court orders, and the Constitution are non-negotiable.
May 31st, 2025, the Supreme Court ruled that the General Court Martial has no jurisdiction over trying civilians, declaring its involvement in such cases unconstitutional. The ruling, delivered by Chief Justice Alfonso Unyidolo, left the country in surprise, with many netizens applauding the independence of the judiciary. This ruling was also warmly welcomed by the FDC, who have reiterated the importance of upholding the rule of law.
Many Ugandans were worried that the ruling would have been otherwise, but I want to applaud the judges for the commendable ruling that will stay in the history of Uganda. Commend the Honorable Chief Justice of Uganda, Alphonse Owiny-Dollo, and the Vice Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court for upholding justice, reaffirming the rule of law, and strengthening the independence of the judiciary.
FDC stated that it is now the responsibility of the prison authorities and the Ministry of Justice to implement the court's ruling and release all political prisoners who have fallen victim of the court-martial system.
Those that have been under illegal detention, illegal trial, should be released or else be taken to the competent courts of law.
The party also urged Parliament to act in the best interest of the people by rejecting any amendments to the UPDF Act as proposed by the President, fearing it would undermine civilians' rights.
I would like to appeal to you not to offend Article 92 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, which deters Parliament from retrospective legislation. The judiciary has done its work. All eyes are on Parliament.
Meanwhile, FDC expressed dissatisfaction with the National Resistance Movement voter registration process, which they say is being conducted in parallel to the Electoral Commission's own registration. The party has also called on the Electoral Commission to extend the voters' registration deadline by 1 month to allow all eligible citizens to register.
We have credible information that NRMO is closely scrutinizing its register against the Electoral Commission's records. Their intention is to manipulate this information to remove names from the Electoral Commission register if those individuals have not registered or do not appear in the NRMO records. The voter registration process is excessively slow and tedious, with a lot of bureaucracies requiring new voters to fill a form, take it to the LOC1 chairperson, then the GISO for verification. This exercise to the new voters is like a punishment.
On the ongoing conflict in the DRC, FDC had this to say.
Escalating conflict within the country poses a serious threat to the regional security and instability. We call upon Mr. Museveni to immediately withdraw Ugandan troops from the DRC and focus on their primary duty of protecting our borders.
Rebecca Natongo, Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.
Now, police have warned school administrators on students' indiscipline of smuggling dangerous substances into schools. Chituma Soki, the police spokesperson, while releasing security advisory to education stakeholders at the beginning of the academic term, hinted on students' habits of drug abuse, among others.
As 2025 academic year commences, police have released a security advisory to education stakeholders intending to enhance safety of learners.
Some of these schools, stern action should be taken. How do you have a school of 50 children sleeping in a particular compartment without a fire extinguisher? And even when you have it, you need to train people how to use it, because some of these accidents do not have time frames.
Kituma Rusoke, the police spokesperson, urged school managers to revise school security measures and emphasize screening of learners' belongings to curb smuggling of drugs and other prohibited objects and substances.
At times, you are negligent. You do not check the luggage of these children, especially those going to boarding schools. And in the end, these children end up smuggling illicit material like drugs, like weapons such as knives, and distracting gadgets.
Police want financial institutions to establish robust mechanisms of dealing with unscrupulous people who always stage at banks with the intention of extorting from vulnerable people. Adoption of digitized form of paying school dues is recommended.
Banks, that whenever such moments arise, you increase security around your premises, both inside and outside. Because some of these people, the fraudsters, purport to be clients within the banks and exploit gullible clients or gullible victims. Then some also are outside. So they take advantage of the outside banking environment.
Meanwhile, police have reported increased cases of fraudsters and hackers targeting WhatsApp accounts. This form of cyber threat has had dire consequences to victims.
They give you a code to which you subscribe or you let yourself into. And the moment you do, now you become a captive. One of the appeals we always make to people, you really need to have the sixth sense. How do you win money in a competition you never entered in?
Cyber threat poses a significant challenge in Uganda's digital transformation agenda, particularly due to inadequate digital literacy. Abdul Nasir Luwanda and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Now, over 70% of students have reported for opening of first term in schools around Kampala and Wakiso. UBC toured a number of schools like Chitante Hill School, Kololo High School, Chitante Primary School, Chibedi Primary School, Matuga, among others, who encouraged parents around the country to return all children to school in order for them not to miss out.
As the schools reopen on Mondays, some parents expressed concern over the high school fees costs that some schools now charge, up to 3 million shillings higher than a university. They believe government intervention to regulate fees charges could help the poor to afford education, especially in urban areas.
To government is that they should regulate the school fee structure in the schools. They should have a uniform kind of school fee structure. Not in one school you are paying 1 million something, the other one is 3 million, the other one is 2 million. Actually, school fees in schools, secondary schools and primary schools is more than universities. So we fail to understand.
School fees, they have increased a bit little, but the commodities somehow they have reduced, some are not yet okay. So we are just praying to God, maybe the government can intervene and help us.
At Uganda Matters High School in Rubaga, the students' turn-up was high, with the students saying they have come prepared to excel in the beginning of term exams.
Very prepared since this is my final year. I have to work hard.
In the holiday, during the holiday, I was reading the books in order to come here, because on Tuesday we have exams both.
The head of academics at Uganda Matters High School in Rubaga, Makario, says that their focus will be on implementing the new competence-based curriculum.
As Uganda Matters High School Rubaga family, we want to thank the parents who have supported the school, especially in the new curriculum, by encouraging their children to join the so many projects we have at school, most especially the bakery, the knitting and the weaving at school, the liquid soap making, the soccer project, and then other new projects that we intend to start on this term, most especially the juice making, the hair and dressing project, and of course the tailoring project.
Makario advised the parents to take education for their children seriously, as it is the best gift to them.
As we embark on the first term this year, we pray that the students concentrate, the students manage well their time, and of course, we pray that the parents get the school fees and other school requirements to support the children. As a school, we cherish more values of spirituality, co-cultural activities, and moral values.
Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Now, all doors at the General Court Martial were under lock and key following the Supreme Court decision on Friday that declared the works of this court unconstitutional. Although Dr. Kizza Besigye and Obed Lutale were expected to appear before this court as per the last court sitting, this was impossible following the decision. We have more in this story.
It was a calm environment at the General Court Martial matching the Monday morning, as many people waited to witness court proceedings in the Dr. Kizza Besigye and Obed Lutale case, following the order by this court ordering them to appear before it last month. Reaching at the General Court Martial, all the doors were under lock and key. This was a clear indicator that the General Court Martial had adhered to the Supreme Court order, as per the Friday decision in Attorney General versus Michael Kabaziguruka's case.
Agree either unanimously or by majority concurrence of the orders proposed in this judgment of the Chief Justice. Orders are hereby accordingly given.
UBC TV tried to approach Dr. Kizza Besigye and Obed Lutale's legal team, who among them was lawyer Samuel Muizi.
Following the decision of the Supreme Court, obviously, the court-martial could not sit because it was declared unconstitutional. So, of course, you will not expect it to sit today. Again, you will not expect Dr. Kizza Besigye to be brought before court which cannot convene. So that was the status quo, but we tried to follow up this matter. You remember the judgment came out on a Friday. Today we extracted the orders for serving upon the different stakeholders to avoid.
Muizi commented on allegations circulating all over social media that the court vowed not to adhere to the Supreme Court ruling in regards to trying Dr. Kizza Besigye in this court.
To avoid any misconceptions, we extracted orders. We have had a meeting with the Commissioner of Prisons. We've told him as lawyers that there is no lawful order that keeps any of the prisoners in any of the prisons that emanates from the court-martial. He has, in a way, he seemed to understand, but said, being a government official, can only hear from the Attorney General before he makes a decision on how to proceed.
Although the decision was in their favor, Counsel Muizi is still perturbed with the Supreme Court order of transferring all the files in the General Court Martial to the Director of Public Prosecution's Office for further processing.
Challenge is, how do you transfer an investigation by a soldier to a civilian court, it is quite cumbersome. You know, the reading below it, having declared everything illegal and unconstitutional, nothing good can come out of a wrong process. The DPP cannot depend on an investigation by soldiers or by the military. The DPP works on investigations by police. So I do not see how that will be practical.
Muhizi also expresses concerns over President's comments on the Supreme Court decision.
If President Museveni has claimed since he left the Bush War that he went to fight for the return to the rule of law. So if the courts have made a determination, I believe he's the same person who stated that he came to return the rule of law. And with that background, I believe he's going to abide by all the decisions and orders and declarations of that court.
With the decision of the Supreme Court, so what is the fate of lawyer Aaron Kiza, who was sentenced to 9 months imprisonment by the court, which has been declared unconstitutional?
There cannot be a lawful order from an unlawful institution or even chairman. So all orders that were handed down by that court for people who still have ongoing matters, like the declaration was very clear, and that they have challenged those decisions.
Last Friday, Supreme Court justices declared the General Court Martial a tribunal court, mandated in the Constitution and the rules governing its operations. I'm Ivan Juko and Deborah Namamondi for UBC.
Now, it's being emphasized that if sanity is to be restored in the war-torn Democratic Republic of the Congo, dialogue must be applied by all parties, including the Kinshasa government and the M23 rebel force, other than exchange of fire, which has led to a humanitarian crisis, loss of lives and property. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, the ICT and National Guidance Minister, Denis Mukasambide, immediate former MP Eala, and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni have all proposed that a round table could be the best platform to foster peace in the DRC.
The horrific security situation in DRC has continued to draw attention from all corners of the world, with Uganda being not left behind.
Once we allow conflicts to start and happen, then a lot of damage, a lot of loss is created, like what we see in Congo, which is very unfortunate, very unfortunate. So going forward, I think the African Union should have a concrete and clear strategy on how we as a continent can avoid and prevent these kinds of conflicts.
Denis Mukasambide is Uganda's veteran politician, having served both local and at the regional level.
And that Congo was formed while merging such ethnicities right from the former Rwanda Kingdom and also the subject of labor during the 1885 Berlin Conference. Now, those were declared citizens by 1960 Constitution of the Congo, and accordingly they should live as citizens.
Away from the historic mistakes, Mbide cites foreign interests as key barriers to pacification of DRC.
The government of DRC, in my opinion, would be discussing secession using the Sudani template. That is what we would be using. Otherwise, it is very unlikely, because the problem seems emanating right from the time of 1918, and it has now grown beyond the levels that are solvable.
Mbide notes that some of the contributors to the insecurity in DRC have not only ignored calls for dialogue, but violated several memorandums.
The East African Community has tried to solve the matter. They have had a series of sittings. They have had the joint protocol on peace and security. They have had the brigades established for the process of maintaining and keeping peace. But what has government done? It has dismissed them at the expiry of the agreements and instead started to divert to bilaterals with Burundi.
The government of DRC should sit and negotiate with the M23, listen the issues being raised, and these can be resolved.
For he proposes that indeed East Africa and Africa must be at the center of resolving the conflict, which has for decades set ablaze onto the one of the richest countries in the region.
The international community, particularly pennyholders, Belgium and others, they are interested in resources within Congo. In fact, most of the multinational companies are not interested in a stable government in Congo, because a stable government would look at rights and definitely they would be losing their own rights.
Addressing fellow heads of states from the East African Community last week through a Zoom extraordinary EAC summit convened by the President of Kenya, William Ruto, to tackle the DRC crisis, Uganda's President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni emphasized the need for dialogue.
Your Excellencies, I think the way forward would be, one, what you said, to really insist to His Excellency Tshisekedi that he talks directly to these people who are M23 and those people who are in conflict with him, because it doesn't only affect Eastern Congo, it also affects us. To me, that would be number one.
In fact, for different players and security experts have warned that the worst might be ahead if steps are not taken to silence the guns in DRC and pick up dialogue for peace.
The military engagement going on is unhelpful. It can only cause a lot of misery and injury to the ordinary people. Loss of life is being witnessed. People are injured, people are being displaced, and this should be prevented.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thanks, Onyango, for that story. And now we'll take a short break and we'll be returning with much more.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered a draw to win school fees.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, the Orthodox Church of Uganda is preparing to host the Pope and Patriarch of Alexandria, His Beatitude Theodoros II, to Uganda, starting February 18th to 21st, 2025. The Archbishop of the Orthodox Church in Uganda, Geronimo Samuzei, told journalists that believers welcome this historical patriarch visit of the Holy Father. Now, the Pope will visit St. George and Andrew in Rwemiyaga, Sembabule, St. Catherine Parish, Acholi Nyeke, and St. Nicholas in Gulu.
While in Uganda, His Beatitude Theodoros II, the Pope, will celebrate Divine Liturgy at St. George and Andrew Parish Remiyaga, Sembabule, on February 19, 2025, in the Holy Metropolis of Kampala. On February 20th, 2025, His Beatitude will consecrate, celebrate Divine Liturgy at St. Catherine Parish, Acholi, Nyeke, and St. Nicholas Parish in Apon Bedo, Gulu, in the Orthodox Diocese of Gulu and Northern Uganda. And on February 21st, 2025, His Beatitude will visit the Orthodox Diocese of Jinja and Eastern Uganda. Therefore, we call on all of you to welcome the Holy Father, the Patriarch, with joy, happiness, and celebration of the blessings of this historical patriarchal visit. We ask you to turn up in big numbers as we prepare to receive the blessings of the Holy Father. The organizing committee for the patriarchal visit, headed by Honorable Theodoros Sechikubo, shall in the coming days furnish you with the detailed program.
The Ministry of Health, in partnership with players in the pharmaceutical industry, are to hold the 4th edition of the Uganda Pharma Healthcare Exhibition. The event, scheduled for mid this month, intends to showcase innovations in manufacturing of local pharmaceuticals and also provide free healthcare services.
5 companies from 6 countries will exhibit at the Uganda Pharma Healthcare Exhibition, offering a range of free healthcare services like eye care, consultancy, among others.
This unique opportunity allows us to bring all these stakeholders from the different countries together, to allow them to network, to learn from each other, and to see how we can spur growth in the pharmaceutical sector in Uganda, so that we can do more for our citizens without having to allow for a deficit that forces them to travel outside of the country to access medicines.
We hope to promote our oral health care, one, by providing oral health education to the people that are going to visit at the exhibition for free. At the same time, we are also going to offer free consultations.
It provides the entire industry the opportunity to explore and engage with new products and technology in this sector.
Emmanuel Aineviona, the Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Health, says the exhibition will promote local manufacturing of pharmaceuticals through innovative approaches, an initiative which aligns with Uganda's development efforts to enhance the health sector.
The theme calls upon all industrial practitioners to put in place technologies at the center of development by creating awareness and promoting innovative approaches, as well as building sustainable collaborations.
There's a lot of benefit that is going to come out from it. One, of course, in terms of awareness about the products that are available in the market, but also when we have more products and more options for the health workers, we think at the end of the day we'll have a lower cost of health supplies and medicine.
The 4th Uganda Pharma Health Care Exhibition is set to take place from February 13th to 15th on the theme Innovations in Healthcare, Shaping the Future of Pharma and Healthcare in Uganda at the UMA Showgrounds, Kampala. Cayenne Faith, Stephen Kalisia for UBC.
Machindi's Sabagabo Division Assistant Resident District Commissioner Simon Peter Mawerere has appealed to the public to utilize the available health services. Now, he was at the groundbreaking of Chibiriri Health Center 3 in Masaja, Machindi Sabagabo Division.
The launch of Chibiriri Center 3 is part of government's effort to improve healthcare infrastructure and access to quality medical care for all citizens. With a growing population and increasing demand for medical services, the residents of Masaja Division, Machindi Sabagabo and surrounding areas appreciate government prioritizing their health needs.
Masajja, we are the most densely populated division in Uganda. But it was really hard to say that you don't have even a Center 3 where expecting mother can go and get first aid from. So I thank the government of Uganda on behalf of the people of Masajja for this initiative, for this development. Really we can appreciate. No matter we are not supporting the government, we are on the other side of the opposition, but we appreciate the government for this. And we are ready to work with the government and support it on this. Whenever it comes to development, we are ready to work with the government on behalf of the people of Masajja division.
The Kibiriesi Center 3 will provide essential medical services, including outpatient care, maternity services, and laboratory tests.
In a special note, I wish to thank the leadership of Machiri Sabaga Municipality, headed by Mayor Kabuzi and the team, for what they have done to have selected this place. We as a government, we thank very much His Excellency the President, because as per the manifesto, NRM manifesto, this is one of the things he put in the manifesto. So it is just fulfilling it, and we are happy the manifesto is being fulfilled.
Nakato Sali, a local leader, emphasized sustained investment in the healthcare sector.
Most of the land is owned by the people. Private land has to be acquired, and our budgets depend on local raised revenue, yet we have challenges with local raised revenue. So we call upon the government to really put into their budgets, the national budget, to put in money for land.
Robert Katamba and Prosechong Tahiri for UBC News.
Residents of Mbiwe village, Hoima district, have hailed government for extending electricity to their area. The Dean of Resident District Commissioners in Bunyoro, Amlan Tumsime, says access to reliable power supply will boost social and economic growth in the area.
This power line of over 10 kilometers from the main road to Mbiwe village in Chitomba Town Council in Hoima district is a source of joy. Connection to the national grid is something that locals could only dream of.
You want to watch TV, you have to use a generator. So we are happy everything will be connected to electricity.
Electricity is very important. It has been so hard to operate a business using a solar system. Sometimes customers would come, they ask for a cold soda. If it's not there, they walk away. Now that we have power, business will flourish. According to Ingnia Magezi, the project's investment manager, Umeme, the 2 installed transformers in the area are meant to serve 2 villages.
We have installed 2 transformers, the associated low voltage network, and it has cost us 515 million. Rough estimate, we expect about 200 customers to benefit, getting a no-pole service right from the pole to the house.
I am encouraging these people to use maximally the power which has been extended to their area, to use it profitably, to ensure that at least it changes their standards of living.
The initiative was implemented under the Electricity Access Scalar project, which is aimed at enhancing power connections in the rural areas. Helen Barbara Jizamba and George Nyonzima for EBC TV News.
Now to matters pertaining to the Ebola pandemic. The Ministry of Health has started trial vaccination against Ebola Sudan strain. The principal investigator, Professor Bruce Chirenga, says the vaccine, codenamed RVSV, is targeting people that got into contact with patients who died of Ebola.
Last week, the Ministry of Health declared an outbreak of Ebola Sudan strain that claimed the life of a 32-year-old male nurse. Now, the ministry has started trial vaccination targeting high-risk contacts, especially those that got into contact with the deceased. The trial vaccine code named RVSV is aiming at finding a vaccine for Ebola Sudan strain.
It is a trial vaccine, so it does not have a proper name as our codes stand. Actually, to put it again more, we even give it another code. It is a V921 vaccine. So it is still under code, doesn't have a name. But it is targeting, maybe that's what I need to mention, targeting the current type of Ebola that has broken out in the country specifically. 2,460 doses of the vaccine. Each person gets 1 dose. It's a single dose vaccine. Yeah. So types, let me call them types or tribes of Ebola. The Ebola called Zaire has a vaccine which is licensed. But the type of Ebola we have here today, Ebola Sudan, up to now, does not have a vaccine which is licensed, which can be used during an outbreak situation.
This trial vaccine only targets high-risk contacts who are monitored for 28 days after vaccination to assess the efficiency of the vaccine.
They are using the opportunity as a measure of having enough evidence that the vaccine will be effective in future, and we want to thank those who have volunteered. It's not for the general public to come and get a vaccine. It is for only those who will be selected who have been in touch or contact, or we think may have been in an environment where they have been predisposed to having picked Ebola. We are going to be releasing status of the outbreak in a format where we're not trying to do the vaccination. So this evening the minister will meet and give a press release of the details that we need to share with the people. At this moment we want to call upon the people who are coming to get the utility of the vaccine so that we don't mix up the messages.
The exercise is being supported by a number of partners, including World Health Organization, Makerere University Langa Institute, among other partners.
We really commend the government of Uganda and its leadership for having been able to facilitate the work that has gone on to be able to launch this vaccine trial. And I would really like to commend the research institutions involved, the international partners who have been involved, for us to be in record time witnessing this vaccination trial start.
That this vaccine will help here too in ending the outbreak, and we hope that the data and the information, the knowledge that generated from this will generate a solution for the world. So we should celebrate Uganda today. We should celebrate Ugandan science. We should celebrate Ugandan leadership in the world as you forge a path for the future of knowledge and health protection.
This is the 8th time Uganda is having Ebola outbreak. I'm Ivan Juko and Adia Nakuti for UBC.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
Welcome back from that break. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. In a rapidly changing global economy where business landscapes are shaped by technology and competitive forces, Uganda's informal sector has long remained a challenge to formal growth. However, a week-long intensive business development program organized by the Ministry of Finance and Development Partners has offered a glimmer of hope to hundreds of entrepreneurs, equipping them with the skills to scale their businesses, improve management practices, and transform their mindset.
100 entrepreneurs from across Uganda met in Kampala for an innovative training session under the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development's EMPROTEC program.
What has been taking place here is an injection of a business mindset that grounds one on what it means, one, to survive in a highly competitive private sector. Two, not only survive in a competitive sector. As you survive, you should be growing, but also enjoying the growth and delivering solutions that will make you to be welcome in the business arena.
The EMPROTEC program draws on behavior science and entrepreneurship theory developed by a Harvard University professor that emphasizes the core competencies shared by successful entrepreneurs globally.
We have observed consistently across different countries that entrepreneurs, after the EMPROTEC workshop, are able to increase their turnover, are able to employ more people, and in most cases, they also expand the business internationally. So these are the key elements of why EMPROTEC has been so impactful in over 35 years of experience.
Richard Mobilu, the lead officer for enterprise growth and development at the Ministry of Finance, noted that Uganda's informal sector, which accounts for more than 51% of the country's businesses, has long been a barrier to the country's economic modernization.
So as a ministry, we have an intervention that comes to lift the numerous small informal enterprises out of informality. Informality is not bad, but we want to manage it so that these enterprises have a reason. They see value in formalizing.
The workshop addressed issues facing Uganda's entrepreneurs: unplanned expansion, poor financial record keeping, and reckless borrowing. Besides technical skills being impacted during the training, experts and trainers stressed that perhaps the most important shift was a change in mindset.
And so we think that now, if they add on the tools that UNCTAD and Ministry of Finance have developed together, we are going to see them more daring, we're going to see them thinking better, and also planning to take on the regional opportunities.
The EMPROTEC methodology has proven successful in countries across Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East. The pilot phase will soon be assessed by the Ministry of Finance, and a national rollout is expected in mid-2025.
Uganda National Bureau of Standards, UNBS, has issued a stern warning against the sale of adulterated fuel, citing its negative impact on machines, revenue generation, and consumer trust. The warning was sounded at a stakeholders sensitization meeting in Lira City. Now, the standards body commits to enhance fuel quality and strengthen monitoring mechanisms across the country, as we hear in this story.
Schools, is it bad?
The Commissioner of Petroleum Supply at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Reverend Frank Tukasirwe, revealed that government is set to begin enforcement actions once ongoing sensitization efforts conclude. This announcement is aimed at enhancing fuel quality and strengthening monitoring mechanisms of fuel dealers in the country. The sensitization meetings that include fuel station owners, government officials and regulatory bodies is set to address concerns related to fuel adulteration and compliance with the national standards.
Since we have been able to do some bit of sensitization, although ignorance of the law is no defense, when our team now moves around in enforcement and find the station operating illegally, that means not having the necessary approvals, then they will apply seals and be able to move on.
You excavate them. According to UNBS, the fuel marking and monitoring program is in place to ensure that all petroleum products meet the required standards, ultimately safeguarding consumers and promoting fair competition.
We are here also in the district to sensitize the oil marketing companies on what they are supposed to do in terms of complying with the standard, in terms of facility of the standard, how a standard service station to look like.
When the citizens cannot, they be vigilant and not going to buy from those places, then eventually they will be able to do what? They will be able to move.
Reverend Frank Tukasibwe also highlighted that some fuel stations are operating without proper licensing, which poses risk to both consumers and the industry. He emphasized that adulterated fuel not only affects engine performance, but also leads to significant economic losses as consumers fail to get the expected mileage from a liter of fuel.
The other aspect is unfair competition, and which is really against the Petroleum Supply Act, because it means that for you who has mixed up the product, adulterated, and first be able to sell your product very quickly, which is to the disadvantage of the one who is selling a pure product.
With the sensitization nearing completion, UNBS and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development are set to take tougher actions against non-compliant fuel stations. Eddie Olua, UBC News.
Thanks, Olua, for that story there. Now, the Lubaga Skilling for Life Vocational Training Initiative promises to skill youth and make them job creators rather than job seekers. Now, this project, funded by Gideon Turiamureba, aligns with the government's Scaling the Boy and Girl Child initiative. Take a watch.
The guests were treated to an impressive display of skills at the launch of the Lubaga Skilling for Life Vocational Training Initiative. An array of handmade products including shoes, liquid soap, candles, and tailored garments were on display. The grand opening ceremony was held at the initiative's premises. Gideon Turiamureba, the founder of Lubaga Skilling for Life, shared his vision for the initiative, emphasizing its goal in empowering the youth with life skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in today's competitive job market.
I call upon the all children, all women, the one who don't have a job, so that they can come to me, then we create jobs in Uganda.
Mulumba Joseph, the assistant RCC of Lubaga Division, hailed the initiative and encouraged the youth to embrace it.
Help Mr. Gideon financially or even in terms of machinery. You come, help him, and he grows and grows more, this establishment, because it is for the good of the country. It is for the good of the party, NRM, the mighty party.
He also highlighted the government's commitment to supporting initiatives that promote vocational training and skills development for young people.
For us as government, we shall also go ahead and support him in any possible ways. Of course, when I am here, it means the government is aware, the government is here.
The Skilling for Life training facility is already making a positive impact in the community.
Parents, really, I encourage you also to have some courses, to support your children to have some courses, most of the youth, so that they can also stand by themselves.
Charity Marion Imnat and Stephen Kayumba for UBC.
Sports news now, and we begin with some rather good news where it's been a good start for Uganda, the ongoing Women's Zone 5 Afro basketball. Uganda defeated Kenya and now awaits Egypt and South Sudan. We have more in this story.
Uganda has had a good start in the Women's Zone 5 Africa Basketball Opener against Kenya. The games in Egypt saw Uganda defeat Kenya 78-56 to fully charge its chances of making it to the next round.
Passed off to Shakira. A three attempt, it's deep, it's good!
From the first quarter, the Gazelles dominated play until the fourth quarter of the game. However, an uphill task ahead for Uganda despite the win, as they play Egypt in the next game before competing against South Sudan and Burundi. And in pool, 13-year-old Herbert Mukisa has announced himself as a force to be reckoned with in Ugandan pool after conquering a field of 32 of the nation's finest under 17 players to win the inaugural Genesis Junior Tournament at Cass Bar and Restaurant in Kansanga. Mukisa's journey to the title wasn't easy. He overcame an early 2-0 deficit in his first match against Cesar Chaninga's sibling, Yanga Baba. At the same event, the Masters tournament for players aged 40 and over also delivered thrilling action. 40 veterans played with Jinja lawyer Silas Waswa emerging as the champion.
Well, I did not perform well. I lost in the first round. It was 5-2, and yet I hit black twice. I think I know why I lost. Mentality. Why I lost is more of mentality, but I concede defeat.
Now, the Guinness-backed St. Mary's College Kisubi League has reached its climax with thrilling action at Legends Rugby Ground.
In a nail-biting final, Alps FC secured victory with a dramatic late goal from a throw-in, sealing a 1-0 win and claiming the coveted Champions Shield as the St. Mary's College Kisubi Smack League came to a fitting close. In the Founders Cup final, Cyclones, courtesy of a Derek Imbowa strike, triumphed over Kiama Warriors at this season grand finale that was made electric by sponsors Guinness. Beyond the intense matches, the Smack League also celebrated excellence by recognizing outstanding players and teams. The league presented certificates of excellence in various categories, including the Golden Boot winner, Best Goalkeeper, Most Valuable Player and Team awards, such as that for fair play. Reflecting on the league's journey since its kickoff in July 2024, the Smack League chairman Bernard Mukasa expressed his pride in the tournament's success.
You've seen the level of Season 7, new format, better level, better match day experience. So Season 8, which hopefully should start in May 2025, will even be at a higher level. We'll have the same activities at a more organized level, the football in group and knockout, the esports in group and knockout. We'll have other activities. We'll ask the Smack golfers to join us. We'll have one-day tournaments in tennis, basketball and golf alongside the league. We'll have the inter-house to come back. And we'll also do other activities like we'll go back to the college, start the mentorship program, go back and mentor those kids, tell them about our professions, because we have a rich network of hobbies here. Those are some of the activities we are looking forward to Season 7.
A major highlight of the event was the Guinness Match Day experience, courtesy of the league's title sponsors Guinness.
We're happy to be here. We're happy to have all the people that are here. Typically, we're so excited because it has been really a good turn-up. We've had a lot of exciting stuff. The games were really, really good. I enjoyed the teams that were playing, and right now we're getting ready for the final team, and it's quite exciting. Different people have showed up, people are working together, people are connecting with each other, which is something that we're looking at as Guinness, to just have people dine and drink together. So we're so happy for what is going on right now.
Football fans were treated to an electrifying atmosphere, particularly when Arsenal supporters erupted in joy as they watched their team thrash Man City 5-1. With the curtains now drawn on this edition of the Smack League, fans and players are already looking forward to next season, anticipating even greater moments of football magic that through corporate social responsibility initiatives benefit the public beyond the field.
To boxing now, where Uganda is proud to send 8 boxers to Nigeria for this week's Pioneer World Boxing Council Amateur African Chapter.
For the first time in history, Africa is hosting the World Boxing Council Amateur African Chapter Championship.
Boxing has become diverse. We need all angles to be catered for. This time around, it's happening in Africa, but world amateur boxing has been happening everywhere. WBC has been holding these events in all continents. They've been having them in Canada, US, they've been having them all over the world, apart from Africa. This is our maiden event, and it's going to be a big one.
It will be in Lagos, Nigeria starting later this week, with Uganda among the proud nations to feature at this historic event that is a qualifier for the World Championships due later this year in Mexico.
We expect them to do the best. We have had a camp for 2 weeks, helped with Coach Medi and many other people. So many people have been coming in to help them. We expect them to produce the best, because if we don't do the best, we shall not qualify. But I believe my team is good enough.
8 boxers that have been enabled by Kampala Boxing Club and Zebra Boxing Club have held their final training session ahead of departure tomorrow morning.
And I'm so happy that I'm going to represent my country in Nigeria in WBC tournaments. And I'm ready because I've been training with my coaches, and I've got the skills and I'm fit enough to box.
Nothing is impossible in God's presence, and I believe that I'm going to make it.
The team includes flyweight Moses Kimera, bantamweight Benon Barejesa, light welterweight Dennis Muleke, lightweight Shakur Mugambe, and middleweight Isaac Zebra Senyange.
I'm not afraid, I'm just happy to meet my new opponents outside the country. So I've been busy working for them, and I promise I'll knock them out.
These players will be under the guidance of the experienced duo of coaches Hassan Muhammad Mulandi and Hamza Sebyara.
Abana ekikulu bali fit. Katika tusabe Katonda inshallah wanabatukiriza ne tutuuka ku buwanguzi obwo. Naye abana okuba fit bali fit. Twaga tugende tukikole eri Katonda n'abakkiriza.
The championship, whose weigh-in is on Thursday this week, will feature boxers from countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, and Equatorial Guinea.
And that story brings us to the end of this second and final bulletin this Monday, the 3rd day of February 2025. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyumo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
On Thursday, 6th February 2025, Greater Masaka Region will host the 44th Tarehe City